The key insight that the multipliers have made that other people have not yet made is this. Multipliers know problems that are procrastinated on are only amplified. We spend so much of our lives constantly trying to avoid the inevitable challenges that come along with the circumstances that our very own choices have led us to be in. Right? There's things we know that need to be delegated, we haven't done it. There's positions we know we need to hire for, we haven't done it. There's training we know needs to happen. There's people we need to fire. There's more time we need to be spending on lead generation. There's things we need to do to get our brand out in the marketplace, and we haven't done it. And it's not just in our professional life, it's in our personal life, right? And I can speak, again, from personal experience here. People who are in debt are constantly trying to find ways to get out of paying their bills. People who are unhealthy are always making rationalizations for why it doesn't matter or how they've already tried or it's not that big of a deal or nothing works. People who are struggling in their marriage are often avoiding the difficult but meaningful conversations that must be had if there is any chance or hope of reconciling that relationship. And the key insight that the multipliers have made that other people have not yet made is this. Multipliers know problems that are procrastinated on are only amplified. Problems procrastinated on are only amplified. Waiting always makes it worse. All of us are dealing with the same types of storms, right? We all have regulation changes we have to deal with. We all have, millennials we have to manage. We all have stuff happening in the markets and, Bitcoin and all. There's so many things constantly happening. And we don't always get to choose whether or not we have storms. The only choice that we have is how we respond to those storms. And more specifically here, when we respond to those storms. This mentality is very representative of the take the stairs mindset. It's representative of how the multipliers and the ultra performers operate, and it brings us to the paradox principle of sacrifice, which simply stated is this: easy short-term choices lead to difficult long-term consequences. Meanwhile, difficult short-term choices lead to easy long-term consequences. The great paradox here is what seems like the easy way in life. Eating whatever we want, saying whatever we want, buying things we can't afford on credit, right? Those things seem easy, but they are the very vehicles to the more difficult life. And inversely, the things that seem like sacrifices, right? Saving the money or investing the money instead of spending it. Working out when I don't feel like it. Eating healthy instead of eating crap. Like the things that seem difficult, that seem like sacrifices, are the vehicles to the easier life. The paradox is there is no such thing as a sacrifice. There is only short-term down payments on rich future blessings. There are only investments that yield returns. And I know that I'm preaching to the choir here that you understand investing when it comes to money more than anybody, right? It's like I can buy the $50 or the $500 TV, or I can invest that $500 and it's going to grow. And we understand that with our money, but do we understand that with our time? And do we spend our time urgently, or do we spend our time significantly? Do we fall victim to the fires and the tyranny of the urgent, or do we figure out a way to create the staff, the team, the systems to create space to invest our time the way we would invest money into things that grow, which is what the multiplier time stuff is all about. So part of what we have to realize here is that in our life and our business, we always pay a price. We will always pay a price. There is no such thing as a shortcut because you eventually pay the price. The only choice that we have is whether we pay that price now, today, or we will pay it later with interest.